Hi everyone, this is Stacy Portugal here with more weight loss coaching on Facebook Live. Do you ever feel confused about health and nutrition information out there? Maybe starting and stopping diets based on what you're hearing on the news. Things like calories don't count, going paleo, healthy whole grains, high carb, low carb, high protein, high fat, low fat, gluten free, the list goes on. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Do you feel confused about what will help you lose weight and get healthy and feel your best? I struggled for over 20 years with fad dieting. I was just in this vicious cycle of failure. Every time I heard about the latest, greatest diet, I would run out to the bookstore and buy the book, back in the day when there were bookstores. And I was lucky if I could stay on whatever program it was for a week, even a few days. I was really confused and I was beginning to feel really frustrated. And it was affecting my self-esteem. And so I knew that I needed support and I needed a credible source for nutrition information. I did not have confidence in myself or my ability to lose weight. And today I'm going to provide you with some strategies to deal with this kind of information highway that we all live with, and just ways to make sure that you're getting to your goals and processing nutrition information so that it actually benefits you. Let me start by saying that much of what we hear about nutrition is a very small piece of a big puzzle. So, for example, high fat. I've heard, and I'm sure you have too, that fat is good. Eat lots of fat, it's good for you. You see people making bulletproof coffee, eating whole avocados. And what they're neglecting to tell you is that this fat is relative to the amount of other macronutrients in your diet. So what I mean by that is how much protein and carbohydrates are you eating? So a well-formulated diet should have healthy fats, and we're not vilifying fats. Fats are healthy, but there's a bigger picture here. So strategy number one is to take all this information with a grain of salt. Roll it down your back, just like you would, a raindrop in a rainstorm. It's just one of many little bits of information out there. The media does a really great job of slanting the research so that it grabs your attention and it hikes up their ratings. It's really all about the spin. They oversimplify, and it's a small piece of a big puzzle. No one piece of information is important for you and your health without the other pieces being present. Nutrition is complicated, and we all have different makeups and genetics. So understanding what is best for you is really important. So strategy number two would be to find a trusted source. Whether you have a nutrition coach or some guru, even someone online, although preferably someone who knows you, knows your goal, knows your body, that is the best thing, because they can explain to you exactly what this research means in the context of you. So, in fact, as we're getting older, we should all build our team of experts for our health. And whether your goals are weight loss or good health or something else, feeling better in some way, this information is not important unless you understand how it affects you. So, strategy number three is let your weight loss be your guide, or whatever your goal is, that should be your guide. So choose the measurement by which you'll be testing this theory. Now let's go back to the example of high-fat diets. If you're trying this and you find that you're gaining weight, stop doing it, clearly, if that's your goal. And I've been there, believe me. If it doesn't work for you, then you're not doing this in an appropriate context and you need to contact a practitioner. Once again, if you have questions about any nutrition information you're hearing out there and you want a myth busted, go ahead and comment in the comment section. I'm going to have a Q&A coming up in just a minute. And I know it's pretty early in the morning. I know not a lot of people are on right now, but most of you will be watching in replay. So go ahead, comment, and let me know what nutrition myth that I haven't covered here that you're interested in knowing more about. This will really help me help you. So, okay, this last strategy might be pretty obvious, but use your common sense. If eating gobs of fat doesn't feel right or even makes you ill, don't do it. Do your homework. Reconsider. This is the time to call a practitioner and consider the validity of what you're hearing in the context of you. After hearing these strategies and myths, is there any more that you want to know? Any other myth? Because we're going to do a Q&A right now. So let's first start with gluten-free diets. Are they for everybody? This is a really good example of a small bit of information that the media kind of ran away with, and it's been really deceiving to the public. You know, it's probably just America's desperation to lose weight, but we hold on to this as a method of weight loss. But actually, no one needs gluten. So let me just start by saying that. Gluten is an indigestible protein and it's found in wheat. And I say that no one needs gluten because I personally feel that no one needs processed foods. That's really our primary source of gluten. Now, there are whole food sources of gluten. But the point is, do you need to go gluten-free? No, not everyone needs to be gluten-free. Absolutely not. Only if you suspect that you have a sensitivity, which many people do have, or if you suspect that you have celiac, which actually a very small population, percentage of the population actually have. So you might know if you're having symptoms that have been kind of unresolved. Things like bloating, digestive issues, even heartburn, or you're not really absorbing vitamins, you know, like those micronutrients. Maybe you're anemic. Or if you're younger, maybe you are, you know, you're not growing as quickly, you're super thin. So if you're having any sort of unresolved symptoms, because there are way more than I can list here, and they're actually finding out more and more about gluten and its effect on us, and really they're finding out that more and more people actually indeed are sensitive. But is this a weight loss issue per se? No. If you're giving up gluten and replacing your cookies with gluten-free cookies, for example, or your crackers, then this is not a method of weight loss. However, if you are having unresolved symptoms, do go see your doctor. And I would start with a gastro. But going gluten-free is more of an answer to an illness than it is, you know, a weight problem. Okay, paleo. Let's talk paleo. This is the most Googled diet in America. I think it's even worldwide, and it's been like this for the past couple of years. And I am wholeheartedly paleo, and I don't do it because I want to live like a caveman. I do it because I don't believe in eating processed foods, or at least limiting your processed foods as much as you can to a reasonable amount that's going to fit you in the context of your life. Paleo is the practice of eating as our ancestors ate, whatever they could hunt, gather, or pick. And the reason I like paleo, of course, is because it eliminates processed foods. But just, you know, to put it out there, there are many versions, many interpretations of paleo. So there's really no one interpretation. And again, it can definitely be part of a well-formulated weight loss program. But you can gain weight on healthy, unprocessed foods. And I was a really, really good example of that. So paleo is more of a belief than a weight loss diet alone as a standalone. Okay, let's bust this myth. Do you need to count calories? It's another very deceiving practice, counting calories. So it does take a baseline of energy, of calories to live, to function. So if we don't eat, we will die. But do you need to actually count calories in order to lose weight? And in my 8 years of practice, I have found that most people who are struggling with their weight do tend to overeat. So simply telling them to eat healthy and don't worry about counting calories is really not a viable solution for most people. It's really an oversimplification. And it can come from a place of, maybe that practitioner or that doctor has not been in a place where they've been an overeater, so they just really don't relate to what you're going through. So you can be overweight by eating a healthy diet. So for most people, counting calories or points or something even exchanges is a necessary part of losing weight. Now, are there ways around this? Absolutely, there are. So this is where a practitioner that can design a diet that's more personal to you and your needs is going to be really helpful. So let's just quickly review the 4 strategies that we can use to determine if that information highway is something that we should be paying that much attention to when it comes to nutrition and weight loss info. Number 1, take what you hear in the news with a grain of salt. Okay, it may or may not apply to you, and it may not work in the context of you. Number 2, find a trusted source for nutrition information that understands you and your goals. It's great to find people online, but it's also really important to try and connect with somebody and talk about the information in the context of you. Number 3 is let your weight loss be your guide, or whatever goal you have set. Make sure that you have a unit of measurement to actually test whatever practice you are putting into place. Number 4 is just use your common sense. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. So I hope this was helpful for you. Once again, I know many of you will look at this on replay, and I want you to just go ahead, comment. Tell me, what nutrition myths have I not busted here that you are really curious about? And I'll be sure to address it. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.